Oh, we're here. We're live, everybody. I always joke every week. It seems like I'm crashing into the live show. This week, quite literally doing it. The ongoing. Woo, my nose stinks. Sorry, Brandon Hanna's here. Says I have to be alone with my thoughts for a few minutes. Absolutely. We are all here alone. Hi, everybody. This is Ken Napzok right here. That's the rundown for the show. A lot of blank spaces on it tonight. And this is the Blathering Live, but a special Friday night edition. We try to go Thursdays, but Thursdays, life crashed into me. Yesterday, I had to get the bug spray done. We had to bug spray the house. Got to bug spray the house. So I had to be out of the house. Shout out to my buddy, Jennifer Muro, who let me and Francis hang out at her house for like 4 hours as they kill all the bugs. And then today, if you watched Anytime with Ken and Alden, you saw the drama unfolding. We had to get some work done. Grace is out of town. And again, am I a hero? Yes, I'm a hero. Grace is out of town, so I sacrificed a lot of my own life today. We had our house maintenance guy come over, and he had to reglaze the bathroom. And we only have one. So guess what I did in the bushes today? No, not that. The first one. And now I can't shower till Sunday morning. Till Sunday morning, I can't shower. I showered this morning. I got a show at Flappers tonight. I'm going to be a stinky comic. Roger, 5171. Here I come to save the day. I am happy to be here, though. A big show tonight. It's big game energy. Big game energy tonight. Gym membership for showers. I can't afford a gym membership. Can't afford a gym membership this week. We got a big show. I'm happy you're all here. We have got producer Steve's in chat. I saw him, right? Yes, he is. We got all the regulars. We also got some anytimers and force centers popping over here today. Tully's here. Not that you're not here before, but Coop's here. Love seeing wonderful familiar names from other spots popping up here in the Blathering. If you are relatively new, I hang out live, and this is like a radio show for a modern age. I've heard that used a lot lately, but it is. Svetnik's happy for Kansas City. So we are going to. We got the prop bets. I got to get those prop bets up. Here's what happened. So the guy, is a great guy, finished reglazing about 7 minutes ago. So I've been here locked in with a rabid chihuahua. And so I was about to go live, and then he was like, I'm all done. So you have to have like the debrief. And I don't understand any of the things he's saying. You know, I have to come back, and then maybe I have to do this and that. And I just have to go. That's what I would do. Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely sand that rough edge. Do that. So then I was like, crap, I'm live. And I got to start the show. Tonight on the show, big game prop bets, all right? Are you ready for this? The big game's on Sunday. Where are you going to watch it? I think I have an idea where I'm going to watch it. It's one of two spots. 7-Eleven are here. The big game this weekend is, Tully says, hope he was cleaner, more professional than my guy. He's our maintenance guy. Like, I know him. Like, he's our landlord's, like, lead maintenance guy. I don't know if he's licensed and bonded. I don't need him to be. But he's pretty good. He understands. He does not mind that a chihuahua is trying to kill him down the hall. He doesn't vocalize it to me. He lives with it, and I respect that. About 7:40, if I hope. And this is for producer Steve on the fly here. About 7:40. I said 5:40. I use military time. I looked at 17:40, and I just lopped off that one at 5:40-ish. I'm hoping we have special guests coming in here. We're going to do the big game prop bets. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get this form copied and then pasted into the live chat here. All right? See if this works. See if YouTube says no. All right, so across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, that comment I just left right there is a Google Doc to our prop bet survey. All right. But we remind you, gamble responsibly. Oh, Francis is there. Francis agrees. Gamble responsibly. Fill it out. Producer Steve promises me that I'll be able to check the poll live. I haven't found out how to do that yet, but he tells me. And once again, gamble responsibly. And the way it's looking, I'm looking at my text messages right now. I feel like Chuck Schumer. We're going to win. We've got Josh McCouga, Mark Ellis in the bullpen warming up to get in here and help us with the big game prop bets. It's going to be wild and wacky stuff. We're going to go to 4. We're going to go to 4 squares on the screen today because producer Steve's going to be on with me to help all of us place our prop bets. The world is full of so much news. It is the tidal wave of news. It is the absolute fire hose into your face, like Michael Richards in UHF. If you enjoy that reference, if you get that reference, God bless you. 8984M probably doesn't get that reference. He's going to be in chat saying, I am young. I don't understand that. He doesn't sound like that. But that's kind of where the news is at. And I'm having one of those days where, because of everything going on from last night into today, both in the world, my own life, shows, reglazing of bathtubs. Those aren't the things when you're a kid and you're like, can't wait to get older. I can't wait to get older and date Claudia Schiffer and Christy Turlington and Tia Carrere and just be an adult. No one thinks that means you're going to have to accommodate for your bathtub being reglazed. I got a couple friends right now. I won't out them, but I got a couple friends who are homeowners. I rent. I'm not privileged. I got a couple friends who are homeowners who are looking at repairs for their like plumbing foundations. They've told me the numbers of what it costs. I'm like, no one tells you that when you're a kid. No one tells you that when you're a kid. You want to grow up? You think it's all going to be fun and games? You've got plumbing problems in your house. 20,000. Yeah, see, yeah, Steve tried to stand up for 8984M. For those watching, you got it, but for those listening, 8984M, I brought up the comment. Says, Steve, the thing is, because Steve said, don't let him bully you. 8984M says, he's right. I have no idea what he's talking about. There's so much news right now. Today's one of those days where I'm protecting myself, okay? Protecting myself. I go to the headline, I play headline roulette, and I try to look for the good news. And there's been a couple things, man. Amazon to pay nearly $4 million to settle a lawsuit alleging it took tips from drivers. Fascinating. Did you know that you could tip your Amazon driver? Most of the time, if you say, I think does anyone in chat remember if you have like an Amazon Echo or whatever, like we have in the house, we're controlled by robots. Like you can say, hey, Amazon, thank my driver. And it'll like tip like $1 or $2 to the driver. And because they don't get paid fair wages and their conditions are horrible. And I've thought about, do I become an Amazon delivery driver? I don't think I want to go through that hell. And now this lawsuit, Amazon owed $3.95 million DC settlement over drivers' tips misuse. They misappropriated delivery tips. That's a headline. That's kind of good news. It's bad news, but it's good news. All right. I think there's a judge appointed by Trump who has blocked his USA U.S. aid. Some people say USA ID or U.S. It's been fun to watch people try to say that. I'm not sure which one of them. 3 states have sued Trump over gender affirming care. And this Trump-appointed judge has paused his plan to put USAID staff on leave. And whether the stuff holds up or not, whether it just becomes this big smorgasbord, and that's part of the GOP plan to kind of just slog everything up. I don't know, but I look for those things alike today. And I think it's important for all of us to do. And I got some good news. I got good news to report here in the news, but Rad's brought this up here. Rad said, I just had a job interview with an AI chatbot talk about dystopia. Rads, I had that 3 weeks ago. I had that 3 weeks ago, applying for a AI related job because it's like all I could get. And I had a 15-minute conversation with the AI chatbot. I know I talked about it here on the show, but I still think about it. If you've all never had the opportunity to interview with an AI program, I suggest you do it just to see that movie, Her, it's going to happen. We're going to all start fucking our phones. It was 15 minutes of an interview. 2 minutes in, you just forget you're talking to a robot. Scary stuff. You guys are answering. I should just, let's see. I'm scattered tonight. I apologize. I'm not a professional broadcaster tonight. I'm going to pin in the YouTube chat. I'm going to pin the prop bet form. If you're just tuning in, Blathering Live, we're going to be looking at the big game on the weekend. And in sports, special guests, but I'm hoping Mark Ellis, Josh Wakuga, going to come in here with producer Steve and I. We're going to nail these prop bets. And we're going to predict who's going to win the big game on Sunday. And then I will reveal where I'll be watching the big game. I know in the thumbnail I said Super Owl, but we'll play it safe right now. You can call into the show. Get some calls going. If you want to call into the show, you will. All you have to do is become a channel member here on YouTube. We crossed 100 channel members recently. I appreciate that. Or you can go to patreon.com/forcecenter. Well, you can support Force Center too. I'm telling you, I need to take a breath. Take a breath, Cat. Patreon.com/Cat Napzok. I'd love to have over 100. I have 94 supporters over there right now. I have 230 of the free kind. Patreon has a weird, you could just support me. You don't get anything. You just say, I follow you. But for 94 paid supporters, I'd love to get over 100 again with that. Back in the glory days, I did. Life changed. A lot of you can't afford to live either. But if you can, and you want to help a dumb podcaster, go for it right here. Good news here. Okay, Rad said the AI at least deemed I was worthy of the time of a human next week. I feel so validated. I didn't get my... I got involved... Like, they onboarded me into this, like, weird company. A human hasn't talked to me, and I haven't... Like, I've done everything I've needed to do, and I still don't, like, have the job. And I wish I did, because I really could use that job. And I guess the AI chatbot didn't like me? I don't know, Rads. I'm glad the robot put you forward. Someone just shoot me. I'm having a day. I'm having a life. I'm having a week. Can't wait to talk sports with Mark and Josh and producer Steve. Here's the good news. Are you ready for the good news? Folks, are you ready for the good news? You may have seen this headline, okay? There is actually a chance, a 1.6% chance, that an asteroid could hit the Earth December 22nd, 2032. We will learn more in 2028. We'll learn if we actually need to knock it off course, or if we need to pack up and run. The early indications, this is the bad news, okay? The good news, this is actually real. I watched the CNN and then the BBC blah, blah, blah report. I don't know what channel of BBC, the BBC 10, the BBC 2. I don't know. BBC 7, BBC 9. Susanna Hoffs is in that band. Will McLean says, asteroid sounds pretty good to me right now. Yes. 1.6% chance. This is real. You hear this every once in a while. A few years ago, we had to knock one off course, and this was real. December 22nd, 2032. But the bad news is it's called a city killer. So it's not a planet killer. They think that if it were to hit, it might take out a city. Now, an asteroid hit Siberia not too long ago, and I was reading about that report. It took out a lot, but it's Siberia. But we'll know more in 2028 if it's a real threat, if it jumps up from 1.6. You know, at this point, this is the only thing that can save us. That's got to be weird. If an asteroid comes out of space and picks your city, and let's be honest, it's going to pick Detroit. We all know that. Making up their styles of pizza and whatnot. And then we got to ask if, some of our friends like Romo and Laserbolt want to live in our garage. Oh, Rich T. Update. New article today says the chance of at 2.3%. How does this go? How does this happen? Romo, you be quiet. Asteroid to hit. This is a very. That search comes up right away. 3 hours ago. Oh my God. It's true. Rich T ain't lying. I didn't think you would. 2.2% chance. That jumped up. So last week it was 1.2. The report I watched from yesterday, 1.6. Today, 2.2% chance that this asteroid's going to hit a city. And again, we all know it's Detroit. This is scary stuff. This is how most movies begin. This is how the movies begin. We've got to be careful about this. And Eminem will drop a diss track against the asteroid. Yes, that will be what gets us safe. Eminem's diss track will keep the asteroid off course. That's scary stuff there. I don't know what to make of that. This is why. Romo, it's not unbelievable. Your city, I don't think for 1 second, I have not had there's some dude at my door. Should I, on air, tell him to get the F off? There was a kid, sports at 540. There was a kid, and he's trying to make a buck, and I don't fault him for this, okay? He was knocking door to door. That's dangerous to do in 2025. You don't know what's going to happen when you open that door. You're harassing people. But he's trying to make a buck. I'm trying to make a buck. And he knocked on the door, and AT&T fiber internet's finally in my neighborhood, which is a good thing. I'd like to switch to that. But he was like, hey, I can set you up. I'll offer you a deal, $62 a month. That sounded great. But I was like, now's not the time. So maybe later. Can you give me a card? He had no card to give me. He just gave me his cell phone number. I wrote it down, but I was like, and I don't have a card. Well, how do I know you're with AT&T? I don't know. But I can come back. I'm canvassing the area. I'll be here about a week. I'll come back. And I was like, okay, but we're not ready right now. I want to switch to fiber. I've been looking forward to it. I've been waiting for you guys, you mean AT&T, to do it. And he was like, Then he knocked on our door 2 or 3 times a night for like 5 days. And I didn't answer it to the Friday night. After the 27th time, I was like, I respect what you're doing, buddy. Can't do it. And he just was at the door right now. Fucking hell, man. When is this supposed to happen? So December 22nd, 2032, Svetnik. JMB says probably Tokyo. We don't want to take out Tokyo. But maybe it's not an asteroid. Maybe it's a ship. Maybe it's Macross. Maybe Robotech was real. By the way, the Robotech took place. It started in the 90s. The timeline of the story is it was playing in the 80s. And if you remember, Robotech talked about a giant global war, like beyond World War level, like global war that was raging. And then the Macross ship comes down, the SDF-1, as we name it. It hits Macross Island. It comes across, destroys a lot of cities, and then the war stops immediately. And everyone deals on this ship. And then they realize there's a bigger threat. We got giant aliens probably coming after us. Thank you, Shape Take. What will hit first, the asteroid or the Ray movie? Don't you do that, David Mackay. I know what you're doing. The asteroid. That I love stories like that. I love sci-fi stories of there was global war, there was pain across the land, and then an asteroid hit and we all came together, or aliens came and we all came together. No one's coming together. If aliens land tomorrow, you absolutely know that we are not having any world peace and all of us coming together. Look, Game of Thrones told the story, the truth of the story. That's one of the reasons I love Game of Thrones so much. The Night King was the problem. What was going on down in King's Landing? Not the real problem. Daenerys and her dragons? Not the real problem. The problem was the great threat for the North. The X Factor, the pure evil coming to get us all. If we come together, we can save the land. And they couldn't come together. They couldn't come together. Luckily, the land was saved. They couldn't come together. Game of Thrones told the truth. If there's an alien ship, a real one, not the bullshit ones that you all think are real, and Mick West brushes you off with his conspiracy debunks. But if a real ship came out of like hyperspace above the Earth and was like, we're going to destroy you, we would not come together as a world. I'm convinced of that. And they would just conquer us. Westeros failed to unify. Svetnik, Svetnik says, like the movie Look Up, which I know a lot of people get on McKay for being, quote, preachy. He's aggressive. That's what I'll say. But I don't think he's wrong. He's aggressive. He missteps. He steps on his meat. But I watched Look Up. I didn't think it was bad. Again, it's just so clear. I think we want stories. We want stories that lightly suggest things, lightly suggest courses of action that we need. But I thought, Look Up was direct, and it plays out. Yeah, 898 for says, "Don't look up." Makes the current timeline seem sane. It kind of does. It kind of does. All right. Rich T says the asteroid that will bring out the evangelical Christians more so claiming the end is near and God is coming to judge us. Probably, yeah, probably. We got sports here coming soon. I am hanging out with you here on a Friday night, and I appreciate it. We'll be wrapped a little earlier tonight because I got a comedy show down at the old Flappers Comedy Club that I'm going to go disappoint people at. And then we'll be back tomorrow night, 4:00 Pacific, our normal Saturday night stream if you're with us. Sports bets, we're moving it up tonight. Calls, I'd love to have you call in. If you want to call into the show, get in here now. If you're looking for the link, it is I've pinned it on the Patreon page. It is the Thursday link. This is just the Thursday show moved to Friday. So if you're having trouble getting in, that's the link. Get in on the Thursday show link. If you're on the YouTube channel member side, same link as well. Rich T asks if we as a community come up with a joke for your set, will you say it? Maybe. I got trouble enough with my own words, Rich T, but you guys can try. At the end of the show, about 6:10, if you got any super blathers, those are the super chats that have a specific question that you want me to answer, I'll wait to the end of the show. But if you have questions along the way, or like Rich T and that suggestion, I'll take it as we go. So phone lines are open if you want to call in. I'm excited about the prop bets. If you're just getting in, we are going to be doing prop bets here shortly, as the big game is Sunday. I don't know where I'm leaning. I'll wait to terms of teams. I know where I'm going with some of the prop bets, but in terms of teams, I really don't know. The narrative, and we'll talk about it more. I want to see my guests. Hopefully, Josh McCouga, Mark Ellis will be here. I say hopefully because they have their own lives to live. But I don't. There's a lot of talk. I was watching a legitimate football journalist that I really love. That he's just like out and out saying, Chiefs are going to win because the NFL needs them to win. People are all in on the conspiracy that the NFL is absolutely not fixing the games, not guiding the games, strongly suggesting how the games should go is the way I would look at it. I get it. The refs, I think the NFL finally had to acknowledge it. Didn't they come out this week? Say, no, we don't do that. But that's what they would say. But it was weird to watch this NFL journalist who's in clubhouses, in locker rooms, on fields, on practice fields, say straight up, because he does not think Kansas City will lose because the NFL can't have them lose. And that was the first time that I've thought, maybe that's just, this is what it is. And the NFL is a sports entertainment league now, and this is where we're at. So I don't know. 8984M has a good point here. If the Eagles win, then it's the NFL didn't want to get caught, right? Rich T, often look at the history for these games. The team has never won 3 straight Super Bowls. However, only one 2K rusher has won the Super Bowl the same year he hit the 2K mark. Ooh, okay. I like that. That's Terrell Davis. Okay. These are things to factor in. These are things to factor into the show. Again, if you want to call in the show, now's your window. Call in the show, become a channel member or a Patreon member at patreon.com/catnapzok. On that, you'll get not only the ability to call in, you'll get my Pop Rockin' radio show every week. You'll get the video version of a Monday morning show. You'll get my current headlining set that I have up that I'm going to be doing some stuff tonight from because the headlining set was the first time I actually used some of those words. And then a lot of other cool stuff there over on the Patreon page. Join over there. Oh, and fill out the bet. Fill out the prop bet. All right, I'm not going to go over these yet, but how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 15, a 16's a tiebreaker. 15 prop bets. That's amazing. Oh, so Jamal Lewis as well. Forgot about him in 2000. Okay. So I still haven't decided. I have never, there's nothing, well, there's a lot of things worse. There's nothing worse than having your life completely upended by house repairs. I feel so detached from my own life today. And I've got the windows open, but I can smell the glaze, the reglaze, the epoxy working its way through our house. And me and the dog are stuck here. All right, let's take some calls while we're waiting for sports. He's a sports fan. 898-4M, AK Brady, AK Kyrie, on the show. But it's true. You've never seen Weird Al's UHF.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. UHF, that came out in the 1990, right?
It definitely, right? Yeah.
Is that the one where they had the hot dog and the cheese whiz thing?
89.
89.
Oh, now you're stumping me. Now you got questions for me? I don't know.
Trying to put 89.
Anyone in chat remember? Orion Pictures, July 21st. Where were you? July 21st, 1989. Weird Al's UHF. How does you as a younger, you're officially a younger 898-4M. How does Weird Al hit for you? Do you have Weird Al opinions?
Yeah, because my parents' generation are Gen Xers, right? So I think they grew up with Weird Al. Right. I think when I talked to on the Force Center live stream, I talked about how I got into Star Wars. My friend's dad, he was a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And he would sometimes have the Weird Al Star Wars song. And the crazy thing was, I didn't even realize that song came up before the Phantom Menace.
Before?
He straight up guessed the plot, right?
He according to the legend, Weird Al went to a lot of the message boards and early websites, found people reporting the story, and wrote the song. But there was an interview I saw recently where he did go see the movie like the first weekend or something and confirmed and and figured out if he had to change anything. But I still think the song came out before. I'll have to look up the release dates. It's pretty. It's spectacular on Weird Al's part, but it's also crazy, especially on the internet at the time, how accurate these scoops were.
Wow. I think there was also not much of a spoiler culture, right? Like, I think there was a
correct
camera. They had a live stream of the set of Revenge of the Sith, if I remember correctly.
They did. I think you're right. Yeah. Attack of the Clones, they started putting out a lot of digital stuff. I think you're right on that. Let me look at the Saga Begins release date. Yeah, and as far as spoiler culture back then, it just says 1999. Oh, okay, no, released. Okay, so it was released June 24th, 1999. So it came out after the movie, but he recorded it in April of 1999, so a month before the movie came out, and then he did go check on it, and absolutely got close. But close enough. Roger says Weird Al's great in concert, which I've never seen Weird Al in concert. Anyways, sorry, Brady, I cut you off. Where were you at?
No, I guess the zillennial, I guess that's what I'm calling myself now. the 95 to 99. We love Weird Al because I think he was still releasing songs.
Oh yeah.
And,
oh yeah, Amish Paradise came out in like
Amish
95.
Paradise. Yeah, I think that came out on the internet first, did it?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Actually, when I first moved to LA, that was one of the first videos I saw on YouTube. I say
was Amish Paradise.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first songs on YouTube.
See, this is fascinating. Well, and the thing about Weird Al is, and I saw this recently where someone was like, he's outlasted a lot of the careers of people he lampooned or parodied, and he always said, "I did it out of love." Some people turned it down, but it's his staying power and his kind of return to prominence over the last 5 to maybe 10 years has been heartwarming to see because he's a good dude. And you know, I just love to see it. But so that's why I'm fascinated that as you describe yourself as you said you're a zillennial?
Yeah, I think there's like Xennial, which is like between Gen X and
Xennial.
Millennial.
Okay.
And then there's Zillennial, which is like between.
Oh, that's too close.
I think it's because a lot of younger Gen X folk, they don't remember when YouTube came out. I actually remember when YouTube came out and it like changed everything.
Oh yeah.
And then when Facebook came out,
I remember getting the email from my friend Melinda. Hey, we all should sign up for this. This seems like fun. I remember that morning at work. Alan Smithy points out Weird Al has a fantastic skincare regime. I agree with that. As someone who has a skincare regime as well, I'm not holding up as good as Weird Al. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic, Brady. I look to you. You're officially the youth correspondent here now.
But the youth is fleeting. I'm the bad side of 25 now.
You're on the bad side of 25.
I know how time works, so that does not make anyone else feel better.
Yeah, Jed Z. Eli says Jed Z, big fan of Weird Al here. The biggest problem I have with his biopic is none of his 21st century songs. Ooh, that's a good point. I love that. I love that biopic they put out on the Roku. Was it Roku that put it out? I thought it was great. It was like Daniel Radcliffe. I thought it was the only. I think it was the only new movie I watched the year it came out. Was that 2023? First Rate Nate's here. What's up, First Rate Nate? I love the First Rate Nate. Conan the Librarian was great. See, this is why. You've got to watch Weird Al, Brady. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta watch that biopic and everything.
Yeah. It's great because he put it together, he wrote it, and it's completely false, but also kind of real.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's must watch.
All right, but that's what I want to talk about. What did you want to talk about today?
I just want to say that I love that the Abraham Lincoln joke that you have going on.
Thank you.
I don't know how people respond, like the MAGA folks, but I just want to. I think it's a good joke, and you should say it with all confidence. And
thank you. I'm gonna say it tonight. I think I'm set to say it tonight. It's just weird, I get it. Like, we're in this time with this tidal wave of news, and what started this whole conversation about the UHF reference to a fire hose to the face. Sometimes people don't react, and they're not against my political beliefs or against my joke, but sometimes there is a sense of not now, like not now, and they might be even Democrats or people that, who are upset at the world, but and that's the maybe even beyond just saying these words in front of potential Republicans or MAGA or anything, which is now one and the same, but is sometimes you also got to know when your audience is just exhausted and they just want to hear a fart joke, which I don't have a ton of fart jokes. So we'll figure it out.
Wow.
Rich T. Well, go ahead, Brady.
How can you tell if like the audience isn't ready for that?
You pay attention to the show. I'm a comic that watches the show as best I can. Some comics, it's different if you're like a headliner and you show up kind of late and you're prepping or anything. I'm not talking about that, but I'm on a lot of showcase shows, meaning, what happens is, I'm on a show with 8 comics. if I can, I like checking on at least one or two comics before me, just so you know what mood they're in. That doesn't mean I'm going to change my set completely, but if two comics come up and do political humor and the audience seems tired as opposed to exhausted or disgusted, but they're just we came here to escape, then I want to know that and adjust my plans. But I think I am going to say it tonight. And Rich T has a question if I want to know the Abe Lincoln joke, but I want Ken to give it away. Not going to give it away. But it is up on my Patreon page. I know that sounds like I'm shilling for my Patreon page, Rich T, but I put the whole setup on my Patreon page, the Hot Burbank Nights. All right, I got one guest confirmed. We're almost ready here, but Brady, I'm not done talking to you. It sounds like a threat. That sounded like I threatened you. I'm not done talking to you. What else is on your mind before we get to sports? Where are you leaning on the big game?
The big game. Oh yeah, let's talk some sports talk. I'm just happy that the NBA took some fire out of the NFL's, their big prep for the Super Bowl. They kind of stole the show with all their trades.
Yep.
And
yep.
Yeah, the entire league is reshaped, and it's a whole new league now.
The NBA?
Yes, the NBA.
It was a fury of trades that I don't even understand. and thank you for explaining the Luka trade to all of us out here who don't know.
Yeah, I still can't believe that's real. It doesn't seem real.
I just have trouble believing that guy, I've seen the pictures of him, that guy is the future of the NBA. I haven't wrapped my head around that. And that's not even saying anything. And I'm a chunky monkey right now. I ate a bag of strawberry cheesecake Milano cookies last night. So I'm not judging the guy. I know there was this talk of his weight. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, that's not the face of the NBA. I don't know. Seems weird. All right. Brady, thanks for calling in, my friend. We're gonna get to sports. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Give me your Super Bowl. Oh, excuse me. Big game prediction.
My heart says the Eagles because the Chiefs have a good run, but I kind of feel like a three-peat is going to happen.
A three-peat.
I followed the Lakers for a long time, and you can kind of get a sense when they're about to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You heard it here. All right.
I'm happy to be wrong.
I will see. All right, Brady, thanks for calling in, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
All right, here we go. We're going to bring in first producer Steve, but let me get producer Steve up. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ken, how's it going? Thank you so much.
It's not a bad day. I'm not having a bad day. I'm just, as you can tell, I'm flummoxed today with that house repair being done 4 minutes before I went to air. So I'm gathering I need you to calm me down, producer Steve.
Yeah, you seem flummoxed. That's okay. We're all going to be calmed down. I'm so excited for this. We're going to have so much fun. If you haven't already filled out your prop sheet, hit up the link that's in the chat. I've got
that link.
I've got responses here. I've got graphics. We'll be able to look at live results.
Yep.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This game is very exciting.
This is exciting. Because they both have things to do, which is what they texted me. I was like, "Hey, can you come on the show tonight?" And they were like, "We have things to do, Kenneth." But they're here now. Please welcome to the show. Let me fix that backdrop there as we produce on the fly.
Wait.
Mark Ellis and Josh McCouga.
Things to do?
Yeah.
Things to do? Some guy at the grocery store said to me today, Mark, he's like, "Oh, you'll get them next year." I was like, "Hey, just shut up." Oh, sorry. Hey, you know what, man?
Did you just say it to yourself? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear it yet. And as for me, I mean, I've been recovering the last couple of weeks. I do appreciate the Dallas Mavericks for doing their best to distract me from the NFC Championship game. Ken, I think the question that everybody wants to ask as we get into this segment, why are you pissing in the bushes when you made millions of dollars on your NFL picks this season?
Yeah, but I didn't bet once.
Stupid.
You were the one that told me, Mark. You were like, "I don't know if you can even win in California." And so I didn't even try. And producer Steve is the one that made millions.
Ken, anybody that's ever made money gambling has had to live a bit of an outlaw life, and that clearly suits you. Now, look, I'm a fan of the Blathering. Not so much that I watch the show, but you will text me your picks after you make them, And to Josh and I's text chain, and you were lights out all season long.
Lights out.
And I just don't know why we're not laying down cheddar on this.
Here's what happened, Mark. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ken, and I don't mean to cut you off. I know it's your show, and I love you. And as a degenerate sports gambler, that is, made many a wager, okay? I did win one fantasy league this year. I came in second in another, and my wife still doesn't acknowledge me as lord of the land as I come down the stairs, my liege, things of that nature, right? As soon as you start putting money on it, like Ken's picks are all well and good. He's out there just flamming around, just throwing it. It's like, oh, I like the Cowboys -6, and I like the Commanders +2.5. But as soon as he puts money on it, all those bets are washed, and he's a loser. They start losing. That's how it works, and that's how it works.
Look, I rode the Commanders hard, giggity, all the way.
You're welcome
to the championship game. But I lost it there. I lost it.
So the Luka Doncic trade, if I could put it into
please
NFL perspective for you, Ken, I listened to the end of that. This is like the Commanders trading Jaden Daniels plus like a couple of picks or like a no name to the Dallas Cowboys for Dak Prescott and a few other guys.
That's good.
Happened.
That's real good.
That doesn't sound like a deal I want to make.
No.
That's why Josh is so good at this. Like I know the digs that people take him Makuga, like, hey, he's not a sports fan, he's more of a reader. But when he makes something like that, he proves that he has acumen in the realm of athletics as well.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
That's so good. That's so good. Oh, by the way, Josh, Mark, this is producer Steve.
Legend.
Hi, Steve.
Nice to meet you, fellas.
Steve, before we go on, what are your thoughts on Yacht Rock here, bud?
Oh, I was here. I was here for the Yacht Rock show. And Josh, you did picks week 1. You were 3-2, by the way. So congratulations on that.
That's right.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we know where I stand on YR.
You won't even say it. You won't even say it, folks.
Dude, the documentary was terrible. I'm sorry. I wanted to like the documentary. It had no point. It was just 2 hours of people talking about songs they made. It was no flow. There was no start. There was no storyline there. It was just a bunch of old dudes on boats talking about music they wrote. And Steely Dan wanted no part of it.
Exactly. That's the point of the thing. Is it started with Steely Dan and it ended with Steely Dan.
Oh my God. Well, let me pull the car over and get excited about a Steely Dan bookending documentary
that they're not even in. I didn't recall that many boats. There wasn't that many boats in the dock.
I can't wait till my funeral because you guys know I'm going to be the first one to die. And Ken's going to get up there and he's going to talk about. He's going to be like, "Oh, I love Josh." Da 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 da. And Mark's going to be like, "Yeah, he's my friend, but fuck Yacht Rock."
Yep.
And fuck that dude. I'm out. Beat me for some Coors Lights at Yard House. Yeah.
Oh, Oh, yeah. Mark's he's gonna Irish goodbye your funeral, and you're gonna want that. You're gonna want that. You're gonna want that.
Okay. And as you guys know, last night I did text you guys this the same day that I was doing morning radio with Heidi and Frank yesterday. They had Michael McDonald on, so I was on the same bill as Michael McDonald.
Hey.
And I kept my thoughts to myself. He seems like a lovely man. Just that voice it sounds like Master Splinter having a stroke.
Well, but also
you can agree that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know. I was at the Comedy Store. I talked about the show where you met Steve Lukather, and
my
friend. Like the guy's like, "Hey, what's Mark?" And I'm just like, "This is just like my mortal enemy." Was like, "Yeah, I had lunch with George Lucas the other day." I don't know.
I don't know what you see in the guy, but he seemed like
I don't know. He told some stories or something. All right. Because I know you both have things to do, like a child to raise and comedians to raise. We're going to get into our big picks. So, Steve, should we do the actual game prediction at the end and do the prop bets first?
It's called a tease in the industry, I think, producer Steve.
I think that sounds good. I mean, the pick for the game is at the end of the prop bets anyway, so we can kind of.
Oh, I didn't read all. I didn't do.
That's okay.
I didn't do my homework.
Last or second to last question. So we'll just use.
Okay.
We'll start with the prop bets and we'll use that at the end. How's that?
All right. So I have dropped the link again. It's also pinned in chat on YouTube, but I dropped it for Facebook and Twitch. If you're on there, Steve has put together the Blathering Big Game Prop Bet Survey. Steve, I can't. Where do I see the things?
So I've got them pulled up on my screen now, as far as the questions, and I've also got the responses here, so we can go through the.
You have those. Okay.
Doing.
All right.
This
So
guy knows how to produce.
I don't know if you taught that to you at Wake Forest, but that's called a graph. It's a pie chart.
Let me tell you something, Steve. I've worked with some producers of the Schmoes Nose show that were, just say, less than worth their salt, and two of them are right over that way. So I've
never
seen
called a producer, Mark, ever.
No, maybe it's because you spent the whole show standing right behind me tweeting things that have nothing to do with the show.
Well, I used to love that. Get the comments. What's that dude doing in the back on his phone?
Oh man, that's my favorite thing ever. The best was there was like a competition for who was going to produce the show.
Right.
And Ken won going away. It's like, had the fans actually known who should have produced the show? The fact that I was even in the conversation is ridiculous.
Our lives could have been different. All right, Steve. So I can get these young men onto their nights. Take us through.
All right, so we have 15 prop bets for the big game, and they range from all the silly stuff to a few of the games. I know it's hard to see them, so I'll breeze through them. It's tough to zoom it all in. But anyway, so a very popular one. So anyone's listening who's not familiar with prop bets are the bets around the game that aren't who's going to win, right? So it's how you have fun within the game, get people who aren't usually big football heads, and really excited about things. So the first one we have here is: will the national anthem take longer than 1 minute and 20 seconds? That's first note to the end of the last note. This is a very popular prop bet. Thoughts?
Do we know who's doing the national anthem?
So the national anthem, I did my research on this one because I've already bet. I am in a 50 question prop bet pool that my cousin runs. I put $20 a person. I put in myself, Amanda, and Rosie. Rosie came in third last year. Good for her.
Wow.
Good for her.
I'm going to take the over. The national anthem being sung by John Batiste. He is a local New Orleans music legend, known to riff a bit. Beginning with the end note, I think I would take the over on the jazz. It's a jazz musician, Mark, so there might be like, oh, say, can you sing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you might even get, like, sometimes they throw in an extra Home of the Brave, like, and Home of the Brave, of the Brave. So there can be some crowd work during the national anthem. I think it's going over.
Okay. I'm taking the over too. Taking the over too.
Okay.
A bunch of overs for the national anthem. Number 2 is the coin toss.
Tails never fails.
Really?
Never fails.
Heads never deads.
That's true too, Mark. It's true too.
It's not inaccurate. I've never been a tails guy. I always bet on heads. I've lost probably more than I've won, it feels like, recently, but I'm going back to my roots and I'm going heads.
Yes.
All right. I'm going heads as well here.
Heads. I'm more looking forward to the ref being like, the commemorative coin on the on one side is the logo of Super Bowl. This on this side is a picture of Mike Ditka punching Ricky Williams on the cover of Sports Illustrated. What does that have to do with the game? Oh, New Orleans Saints, right? Oh yeah, we got that. Okay.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. All right.
Question number 3. This one's a fun one. Which iconic New Orleans cuisine will be seen first on the broadcast during the game? And this is after kickoff, before the final whistle.
Oh, like this is when, like, who's Joe Buck's gonna be like, there's some jambalaya.
There it is. I went beignets. I think beignets is usually like the first one, and then eventually they'll show somebody with a pot of gumbo, and then they'll do like somebody cutting up a po' boy somewhere. But I think they start with beignets.
So and Mark, I'll read them for you: gumbo, jambalaya, beignets, po' boy, or none.
You just came up with a great dish, Ken. If you ever open a restaurant, jambalaya sounds like a fun order.
Oh, jambalaya.
Yeah. It's Ken's famous jambalaya. You don't know what's in it.
I'm
rookie cards.
I'm going to go to a cutaway to Cafe Du Monde and beignets as the first shot.
Done and done.
Yeah, I mean, Cafe Du Monde, I've been there. I've enjoyed the beignets. I just had a weird feeling that they're going to go dinner before dessert, or breakfast in this case. So I'm going to go po' boys.
Okay.
All right.
Look, all three of us going. Oh, okay. All right.
And what did you do, Josh? You're doing gumbo?
I went beignets.
Beignets. Okay.
Like the closest camera is Cafe Du Monde. It's probably the most famous place because there's no like famous place in New Orleans, like, hey, you got to go here for the jambalaya. Like everybody has a good jambalaya. There's like ranking of them, but there's no like Cafe Du Monde for jambalaya. There's a couple places for po' boys, like shoot, what's the place called? Paper Street Bakery. I don't know. There's a couple
Baker
of
Street
places I've been, because my sister-in-law is from New Orleans, so I've been there like 4 or 5 times, and she showed me like the back places, like the bars where you can get stabbed and also get like dollar drinks and plastic cups.
Yeah, those are great.
It's too bad we're short on time because Josh has a great wedding story from New Orleans that we're just going to run out of time.
We're just going to run out of time. Yeah, I just think it's going to be one of those shots of Cafe Du Monde where they're really awkwardly close to someone who's just like staring at the camera for like too long while Joe Buck tries to talk, and they're like,
you know what is kind of a bummer that nobody ever talks about is the fact that like basically beignets are just fluffy funnel cakes. Like it's just a really fluffy funnel cake.
A little bit too much of a mess for my taste. All right, next up.
This one's fun. What color tie will Tom Brady wear?
All right.
So sorry, I'll read the selections. I know I'm gonna fix this on the next thing. Blue, gray or silver, no tie, red, black, green, pink, yellow, and those are order of most to least likely according to Game Odds.
There's no way he's wearing green. He hates Nick Foles. He hates the Eagles. He lost to them in a Super Bowl.
Okay? Can't show favoritism with red. I think this comes down to blue or silver gray, and I think that silver gray might be it because he's still feeling some of that Patriots, love. But now that I say that, I don't know that he actually does feel a lot of Patriots love these days.
Here's the thing, Mark, is I don't think he can wear gray silver based solely on a conflict of interest being the Raiders' part owner. So that's why I lean.
Oh, yeah. Blue, huh?
I lean.
Okay.
Blue.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Does yellow and gold, are those the same things in this bet?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Because I think you're not just going to get like a normal yellow tie, but you could get like a gold tie. I'm still going to go silver, but I think that gold could be in play.
Okay. I think since gray and silver are grouped, they would probably give you gold with yellow.
All right.
I agree with the Raiders thing, and he's the microscope is on him for that kind of weird connection, which I still don't understand why they're allowing that. But I am going to go gray silver.
Okay, all right,
gray silver. Okay, I'm seeing if I can make this just a wee bit bigger.
Producer Steve looks like he played in Gin Blossoms.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
that'd be a good show.
We'll get it there.
All right. Did he or did he not play in Gin Blossoms? Yeah.
Mark, good money to see Gin Blossoms.
August 19th in Saratoga, California, not far from my home. Gin Blossoms, Spin Doctors, Blues Traveler.
Okay, I've seen the Spin Doctors live and they were excellent. This was 30 years ago, but it's a yes from me.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Line it up. Let's do it.
All right. Next up, Steve.
Next up, this is also another fun one. Which of these trails will be shown first? And this is the question gets thrown out if none of them are somehow shown. Superman, Captain America, Thunderbolts, or Fantastic Four.
It's America, baby. I'm going Superman.
I'm with you, Ken. Like if they're gonna spend the big money for the big movie, they spend the big money for Superman. I don't even know what Thunderbolts is. That's a ride at Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it probably needs to be shut down.
Yeah, it's an old I don't think there's been multiple bodies thrown from that thing. You're out of your mind.
I actually just interviewed the new Thunderbolt Ross, also known as Harrison Ford. Lovely man. And Ken said something very strange. He said that I'm voting for America. I'm voting Superman. Did you not see that Captain America is a selection that you can make?
Yeah, but because cap stands for a diverse and equitable and inclusive America, that's not our America. And instead, it's an alien coming to the planet and being rejected by it that somehow people will confuse as more of America.
That's probably why you would vote against Captain America. But the fact that the game is on Fox and that there's some connectivity with Disney, I think Superman might be like, you're not going to get like this amazing Captain America trailer simply because we've seen so much promo for it already. I think that's just like your appetizer for this game, and then Superman maybe like end of the first quarter kind of thing.
That's why he's
my guess.
Rotten Tomatoes. That's why he's the voice of Rotten Tomatoes.
I know nothing behind the scenes.
30-minute elevator pitch. What is Thunderbolts?
So basically, Thunderbolts is sort of, I believe it's going to be President Ross now, played by my friend Harrison Ford, who is assembling a squad that is sort of Avengers akin. But, obviously, Ross is the character who sort of disbanded the Avengers in Captain America Civil War. So Anthony Mackie's Captain America doesn't really trust this dude as we head into Brave New World, but I'm pretty sure Brave New World is going to tell us what Thunderbolts is about much more eloquently than I just did.
Got it. Good work, Mark.
Beautiful.
Really good.
Beautiful.
Do I get my okay? Wait, hang on. Disney's paying me real quick. Thank you. All right.
Chill. Hey, Lauren Romo.
Romo's in here.
And I saw Erin Parisian, who's one of my favorite people. She's the best.
She's great.
I can't wait till she writes my version of 50 Shades of Grey, which is just about my back hair turning gray. It's
Ew. All right. Next up.
I had one note there. I threw up on a wooden roller coaster at Kennywood when I was a kid.
Which one? Was it the Jackrabbit?
Probably. I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah, the Jackrabbit, Ken and Mark. It feels like it jumps the track, and when you jump, into your throat, and you kind of.
I don't like this. Yeah.
Hurt my back. Threw up. It was 6. It wasn't fun.
The problem with that one too, producer Steve, is that the Jackrabbit is right next to the corn dog stands where they dip the corn dogs in nacho cheese, which is awesome.
That sounds great.
Wow.
Okay, I like that.
Man, that really puts Ken's jambalaya into his place, doesn't it?
I was thinking of Jumbo Elliott. All right, it's a football game here.
That was a great game. Maybe not so much for your Dolphins, but that was a great Monday night game.
Not for me. All right, Steve. Next up.
Next question. This is a football question. Who's scoring the first touchdown? Chiefs or Eagles?
Ooh.
I think the Eagles do. I'm not. That's not indicative of my game prediction necessarily, but I think the Eagles do score first.
Yeah, and I think it's a Saquon Barkley touchdown. I think that like somehow they like this. This could be like Super Bowl 30 when Emmitt Smith ran for 25 yards on his first carry against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then ran for 19 yards on 19 carries the rest of the game. I think that Saquon Barkley breaks off a huge one, and then the Chiefs like reconvene and figure out how to stop him. But I think
I don't know if I agree with the end of that, but I agree with the Eagles scoring first.
Okay.
All right. Good. Next up.
Good.
Back to the fun. Number of songs during the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. Over or under 10.5?
I think it's more like number of times that Drake's lawyers pop on stage to be like, I can't say that one. I listened to a whole podcast about this morning. Very timely joke, Mark. Listen up. Got it.
That's great.
I mean, you want to talk about whoever you thought was having a bad week, they just went into second place after the Grammys because, like, that whole arena singing along and loving Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. If I'm Drake, there's no shame in just hanging it up and using your tens of billions of dollars to just enjoy your life. But that's tough to come back from. I think it's going to be under 10.5. I think it's under 10.5.
Yeah,
under 10.5 as well. I think he's going to get hung up on some bars about Drake and not going to get his whole set going.
But I also don't know over 3.5 Kendrick Lamar songs. I know They Not Like Us and it's about it. I don't like. I like Dr. Dre. I don't know this generation of rap. I'm not good at it.
These kids these days. What
I like
Drake feuds.
Like from start to finish, I think that there's going to be a lot of like showmanship and lights and cool stuff. But I think it's going to be a minute before we get into an actual song, and it may end and then have like a grand finale that's not necessarily a song. So you're cutting some time there.
I like that.
They really need when they bring rappers out. I know it's just Kendrick Lamar, right? But he's got to have like a bunch of cool people like come on stage. I mean, the guy won a Pulitzer Prize for Christ's sake. I mean, he's got
SZA rumored to be showing up. So,
ooh, look at you guys inside of it. This next one is interesting, Steve. I've never heard of this phrase.
Oh, the octopus. Will someone score an octopus? The octopus is if the same player scores the touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
That happened like one time this whole year.
Yes, but if there's a guy that could do it, I have a feeling AJ Brown is that young man. Wow. And I'm going to vote no, but just remember when AJ Brown does this twice during the game that I was at least thinking about it.
I'm going no as well. No as well.
Yeah, that's a big no.
That's a tough one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No octopus this week, but how many push touchdowns will there be? And we have to be very specific here because Vegas sure is. A push touchdown is technically a Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown, 2 yards or less, not from the shotgun and not a scramble.
Yeah.
This is a real bet.
Hard under on this.
Yeah, I got to go under because I think that if they're like at the 1 foot line, like they were against Washington, and Frankie Louva decided to make it incrementally closer each time, I think if they're like at the 2, then you still rely on Saquon. So I would veer towards the under.
Yeah, and the line is what 2.5. So you have to hope that this happens 3 times here.
Yeah,
I'm taking the under.
That's so many touchdowns.
That's a lot of
Vegas
pushing.
putting over -2, over 2.5 at -1.
They put it even. Yep.
Under should be like plus.
Yeah.
Under should be plus friggin' or a minus like 450, and over should be like plus 950.
Agreed. That is why I put it here. I thought this number was crazy. So that's why I put this on.
It's
here.
crazy.
Of all the bets, I would be most comfortable putting like a weekend pay kind of check on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't have a weekend pay to do, but I will.
Pretty good.
All right. Oh, this Steve.
Right.
Next up, Gatorade.
Very popular one. What color will the Gatorade bath be?
All right. Can I give you a little inside track on this one? I listened to a podcast this week with Lane Johnson, offensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles.
What are you doing in your free time now? Just listen to Kendrick Lamar podcast, Gatorade podcast.
Basically, all morning I like make a child's lunch. I make breakfast. I like get my day going, and I just listen to podcasts all morning long while that's going on.
That's
right?
Great. Okay.
And
yeah, Ken, sometimes you need something to distract yourself from the fact that you've been working on that vision board behind Josh for 5 hours.
And
manifest.
They like basically they rarely have other colors than lemon lime. He's like we always drink lemon lime. It's like pretty much the go-to because they use powder. They don't use it could be purple or red, but I would put all the stuff on the yellow.
I don't see the Eagles having red Gatorade, and I don't see the Chiefs having green Gatorade. So I am gonna just mix all those colors together and go with my current favorite flavor of Gatorade, my damn self, orange.
Wow,
orange guy.
I'm going classic.
It's the third most favorite, so
yeah, I'm going classic with the yellow green. I just now if the NFL was smart, they would find Gatorade would be a sponsor and unveil a new flavor.
Oh, that's actually not bad. Like, hey, tonight's Coach Bath will be sponsored by our new flavor, Ken's Bathroom, and it's like,
right, or like the camera rushes in on Andy Reid after the game, and he's like, "Whoa, puce!" Like, I just would love that. That's
what if it turns out that it's not Gatorade, that it's 10K or All Sport or Powerade in there?
All Sport was terrible. Powerade, Powerade,
yeah, so much.
Dude, something's going on with Gatorade, man, because they have a monopoly on the market. Like everybody who wants to place their conspiracy theories on the refs and the Chiefs, get rid of that crap and focus on Gatorade knocking every competitor the hell out the window. Nobody, the kids don't know what All Sport is. They don't know what 10K is today because Big Gatorade took care of them.
You know what kids drink these days is Body Armor.
Yeah, I drink Body Armor.
Yeah,
I do too. But I'm with you, Mark. I'm with you, Mark. Big Gatorade. This is the conspiracy channel we're gonna run now. Big Gatorade taking over.
Making a solid point. A new jambalaya Gatorade. AK, do you guys remember the amazing SNL sketch of Gatorade cookie dough?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite sketches ever.
What if the cooler is full of crystal gravy to bring back another classic SNL?
Right now.
So good.
Tomorrow. Baja Blast Bath. Baja Bath says Brian Ward's here. All right, couple more questions left. I'm gonna get these young men onto their nights here. Steve, we got a big one next.
Big one. Will Travis propose to Taylor? Yes is plus 500, and that should be higher in my opinion.
I think it's a hard no. It's
no.
Nah, I don't think this is like as my wife once told me, if you propose to me at a Steelers game, I'm saying no. And I think that like it's not like he can't.
But it's plus 500. That means they think it's kind of possible. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, because I agree. I think it's a hard no. But the fact that it's only plus 500 is nuts.
Look, hard no.
Last year, I would have said there's no way. But then, like, the way that they were looking at each other last year, I was like, he could bust out a ring right now. Like, this could be the thing. I don't think that Travis would use that moment to do something else that is like a huge accomplishment in his life. I think that they would either do something that's a little more private around friends, or I think they might do it like at the end of a Taylor concert somewhere down the road.
Right. Right. Okay. It has to be on her terms. You got to really, I mean, Mark hasn't had a girlfriend since Clinton was in office, but you got to really like work around the girls' thought process here.
Yeah,
yeah, right. Because that's the reason why I haven't had a girlfriend since the Clinton administration is because I'm not working around their schedule.
You chose the dark side, aka the side where you can legitimately live on a leather couch where your only art is a John Riggins poster frame. You're living the dream. You're living the dream, buddy. You're living the dream.
I'm going. You know what? I keep saying if they win, there's a good chance, but I'm going no, and that's not about whether I think they win or lose. I just think now, no. I'm changing my bet to no.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like this is a 50-50. Like you're not going to propose if you lose. So I think this game is just about a coin flip. So I think if you're just betting and going with the odds, you got to go no.
Okay, I'm with you. All right, Steve, we're kicking.
Next one, longest field goal made in the Super Bowl will be over or under 46.5 yards.
I mean over. I'm going over.
Yeah, I think you take the over here. Two good kickers. I think this could be a game that is really fought between like the 20s. You know, I don't. Mark might disagree with me on this one. I just think like Super Bowls after like a 2-week absence, first halves can be like weird. You know, a lot of field goals scoring is weird sometimes. I don't know. I take the over.
And the kicks are so long.
Yeah, I'm doing this only because of the progressively minded Harrison Butker is kicking for the Chiefs, and I do not trust the Eagles field goal kicker at all. The guy. Here's a prop bet for you. I think the Eagles kicker is going to jack an extra point somewhere.
That's what I think. Over under 0.5 missed extra points. I took the over. Total.
There you go. Harrison Butker, I bet, is going to hit. He might hit a few long field goals, but he's got a great leg. Brain, not so much. He's got a great leg, and I think that before halftime, like if they get the ball back like late, that they're just going to try to get into his field goal range. So he'll probably bomb like a 55-yarder to go into half.
I like that.
Mark,
and then he'll zig heil. He'll zig heil as he runs off the field.
Well, tonight's 50-yard plus field goal brought to you by Harrison Butler's KitchenAid, where all the women stick around. They're not allowed to leave there, and they're not allowed to do anything outside of it.
Great. That's
great. You know, you can only use your hands in the kitchen and not your feet, and that's where Harrison Butler shines. Harrison Butler's KitchenAid. Women in the kitchen. That's where they're supposed to be. Back to you, Ken.
Flip it out. That's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, couple left. Let's do this. Take it home, Steve.
Will there be a scoregami, which is a unique final score in NFL history?
I don't even understand that, and I don't even know why we name it.
Steve, does that have to be like? Does that have to be like it's never happened in Super Bowl history before kind of score?
Not just Super Bowl history, NFL history. A completely unique final score.
No. Okay.
Surprisingly, have a few of them a year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll have a more normal looking final score than we've had the last few years.
This is one of the ones in my opinion that's always fun. If you're just mass prop betting, just throwing $2, $3, $5 on just in case because it's plus 2,500. You just never know. So that because it's also a fun thing to root for if you're neutral.
Okay. I still have time to sign up for DraftKings, right? Okay, I'll do it. All right. All right.
Here's the big one and there's I think maybe one after this, but this is the big one. Who wins the game?
Here it is. This is the big prediction. Who wins the big game, boys? Who wins the big game? What's the line at? Oh, there's the line. Chiefs.
The Chiefs are minus 1.5.
This is tough, man. This is really tough because I don't like betting against greatness. And that is what Patrick Mahomes has been. And he plays the most important position on the field, all due respect to Saquon and his incredible season. The problem I have is the Eagles have this thing about them that my team discovered firsthand in a very brutal way 2 weeks ago, where the reason why Washington lost to Philly in the NFC Championship game, it's not because Philly's better than us. It's not because we didn't play our best game. It's because of a guy who's been retired for 15 years, and his name is Charles Tillman. He invented the peanut punch. The peanut punch, which is where a guy's running with the ball and the defender punches the ball. It happened 3 times to us, and the Eagles practice that stuff more than any team in the league. And I'm worried about Travis Kelce being a year older, getting peanut punched. I'm worried about Xavier Worthy being this new stud in the NFL, not used to just how hard they're going to hit you and try to punch the ball out in a game like the Super Bowl. So I think that the peanut punch could factor into this game. Over to you, Josh. I'm not ready to make my prediction.
Mark, I'm with you on the greatness thing. Somebody like a Patrick Mahomes has proven us time and time again that he doesn't lose. We said the same thing about Tom Brady back in the day, who lost to an Eagles team. Jalen Hurts has been in this position before. Nick Sirianni has been in this position before. Saquon Barkley has not been in this position before. And as somebody that is a fan of the Penn State Lions, I would like to see Saquon Barkley do something. Now, as a part of the Philadelphia Eagles, I would like him to not do that something, because I don't like either of these teams. If I was rooting between the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the entire middle of the country to go into a sinkhole, I might take the sinkhole. Okay.
That includes your own Pittsburgh. That includes your own Pittsburgh. You're willing.
Midwest. Okay. Anyway, I will say this. I think it's going to be, obviously it's going to be a very close game. I'm going to sound like Rich. I'm going to say all these like pundits that do these things, right? But I think if we are handed a close game in the fourth quarter and the Chiefs have the ball last, they win the game. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And I think the final score is going to be something like 27-20 Chiefs.
Okay.
I think
So Josh is Kansas City. Steve, you're an Eagle fan, Steve, so you don't almost get to pick, but
what?
Steve's an Eagle fan. I didn't tell Josh that. I didn't want to get Josh upset.
We got this far too. Damn.
He's
Yeah, I don't live there anymore. I lived in Pennsylvania a long time growing up as a kid.
Yeah, why didn't you choose the Steelers? Because you're an idiot.
Family, Donovan McNabb, Syracuse. There's some connections there.
Oh, okay, cool. Donovan McNabb, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Right team. So. Pick the correct team, Steve. Pick the correct team. Okay.
The Cleveland Browns.
Do you want to be a garbage person, or do you want to be a classy individual with 6 Super Bowls?
Here goes Josh calling people garbage on the internet again. That worked out so well for you last time.
Oh, what? Because the wrestling community is so even-minded? Yeah, it worked out real well, Mike.
Steve, where are you going?
I actually really agree with a lot of what Josh said. I think if it's a close game, the Chiefs are absolutely going to win. I think the most likely scenario for the Eagles to win is if they get out to a big lead like they have against some good teams this year and just held on. They're not going to be able to just hold on in the fourth quarter. If they're going to win, it's going to have to be by more than 2 possessions. They're going to have to get a couple of timely turnovers in both the first and the second half. The defense is going to have to overperform. I'm terrified. My heart tells me I want my Eagles to win. My brain tells me the Chiefs are going to win 28-24.
All right.
All right. So I think that it's going to be, obviously, I think it's going to be a very competitive game. It's going to be an exciting game to watch, which I'm probably going to have to watch on my laptop because that's currently what my TV situation is. It's being fixed, and we don't know if the repair is going to be done in time.
Down the wire. Look, you were that's where I was going to watch the game. I was going to announce that this is where I was watching the game.
Well, I will keep you looped, Ken.
But you're welcome to come over here. We got a high def TV. Francis might try to kill you. Come on by.
I think that
he said no. He said no to my invite, Josh. Did you catch that? He's not going to come to my house.
I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I've been watching TV on this laptop all week. It's been fine.
Come to Cad's.
If you want to come over and gather around the laptop, then I'm happy to have you.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to come down to something Josh said. And those 2 words that Josh said that swayed me were Nick Sirianni. There's no way that if this is a remotely close game that Nick Sirianni is going to outcoach Andy Reid. Andy Reid will outcoach Nick Sirianni, regardless of what the final score is. I think Steve Spagnuolo, all due respect to Vic Fangio, is the best defensive coordinator in the NFL, and they have Patrick Mahomes. You don't bet against Michael Jordan. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. And I think that the Chiefs win 34-30.
All right. We got Kansas City. All season long, I've been predicting with my heart. I throw some stats in there. I throw some analysis. I've been paying attention this year, but I've been going with my heart. And I also like to debunk conspiracies because I think conspiracy mindset is destructive to this world. It's ruining our country. And because of that, I got to stand with that. There's no conspiracy here. Kansas City's not in the pocket of the refs, and the refs aren't in the pocket of Kansas City. The Eagles are going to surprise the world, shock the world, and they're going to win 35-31 Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles, Steve.
Go Birds. I hope we're all wrong except Ken.
It's going to be interesting, man. My mom's side of the family are Eagles fans, so we successfully converted my mom. The rest of them not so much. I was thrilled when they beat the Patriots because my grandma passed away 2 days after that. So like my grandma hung on for dear life just to watch the Eagles win a Super Bowl. Glad she got to do that. I think I'm just going to watch this game for funsies because I love competition, but yeah, I think Mahomes is going to do it.
Where do you guys have your family reunions for that side of the family, Mark? Just like a dump outside like Wissahickon?
We actually have them at Four Seasons Landscape Company.
It's sometimes booked, and you got to go other places.
Yeah, you got to go other places.
All right, final two questions. First mention in the Super Bowl MVP speech, right, Steve? God, teammate, or other. So in the Super Bowl MVP winning speech, who do they mention first? God, teammate, or other, Josh?
I'm going other. I don't think. I mean, is Mahomes like super religious? And I don't know. Barkley never. I've seen a couple of his post games. He's not like a big God guy. He doesn't say it that often. And Travis never mentions the Lord, right? Does he?
I don't think so as much. If Mahomes wins, it's God, but everyone else, I think it's teammate. If Harrison Butker, he's going to praise the president. So I'm going to go teammate. I'm going teammate.
Okay.
I went teammates. When Jaden Daniels wins this next year, he is going to thank God first. You can go ahead and make that bet.
Okay.
I feel like the actual answer might be the fans. There might be a chance, especially if it's like Kelsey or somebody who loves hyping the crowd up. But in all likelihood, it's going to be Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, or Saquon Barkley. And I think all three of them are going to thank their teammates first.
Or Larry Brown. Okay, cool. Final one, Steve, tiebreaker. What's this tiebreaker?
The tiebreaker is how long is the game going to last in hours and minutes from kickoff to final whistle? Just to give you some reference, the last 5 Super Bowls were between 3 hours and 26 minutes and 4 hours and 6 minutes.
All right, my tiebreaker is 3 hours and 57 minutes. It's a long one.
I think I did 3:43 is what I put in my Google form there. 3 hours 43 minutes. I think it's over. I mean, you got to count in commercials and everything, beginning to end.
Trailers.
The way these things go at the end of the halves now, and how like I don't know. I think there's gonna be not a lot of incomplete passes, but like if they can start stopping the run on both teams, it's going to become a pass happy thing, and we know how that goes.
I think just between the NFL trying to squeeze every little ounce of money machine that they can, they're going to make the game as long as possible. Not from a conspiracy standpoint, just from a timeouts or whatever, halftime. But I think that I might have put in 3 minutes and 57 seconds as well. So okay. I'll do 3 minutes and 58 seconds because I think it's going to be a longer game. And I think there's going to be a lot of like timeout calling chess match towards the end of both halves.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Steve, what'd you put?
I put 340.
Okay.
I think it'll be a little. I think it'll be both. Yeah, exactly what Mark said. If the run game gets going, and they can run the ball a bit and keep the clock, keep things moving. Right. But the halftime show was long, a lot of commercials. So yeah, I think
a lot of trailers. Well, we did it. We did it.
Over under number of Jesus commercials. You know how like at the end of the game, like second half, there's always just like a
Jesus.
Like, no, Jesus. Mm-hmm. You're like, whoa, Jesus. I mean, he gets some good commercial time up there.
I'll take it. There's going to be one. You taking the over, the under?
Take
0?
the over on the 1.
You take the over on the 1.
Over on the
take,
Lord,
yeah.
the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Take the over on 3.
If the over under is 0.5 on Scientology commercials, I'm definitely taking the over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All those second half commercials are just like religious. You're gonna play. You might catch a local Shen Yun commercial. You don't know.
Right. It's beautiful. Yeah. Boys, thank you for taking time out of your busy lives. Mark's got to tell some jokes. Josh, you got to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich for your kid. I got to go tell some jokes
tonight. Ken,
pizza. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. And I early tea time, so my handicap can keep dipping, so I can take out Mark at the knees because he's practicing hard. He's getting better day in, day out, and we're working hard for our 2v2 match. Mark Riley and Mark Ellis versus Josh and Ken. Whenever that happens, I can't wait. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Let's do it. Thank you, boys. We'll talk and see y'all later.
Later, boys.
Love you guys. Don't work too hard.
There we go. Mark and Josh, check it out. Steve, thank you for putting that together. What are the results right now? Where are we at?
Yeah, let me pull those up for you. See how I can move this over. Don't worry. Let me just scroll down and adjust here. So this is, will the national anthem take longer? So this is the first question. National anthem. Looks like the over is the blue there. So a lot of people taking the over on the anthem. I'm going to adjust my thing here so we can see the
question. I'm putting you on the spot here.
It's all good. All right. And coin toss, looks like we're liking heads on the coin toss at 64%. The beignets taking the favorite on the cuisine. Red on the Tom Brady tie. That is surprising.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Red.
40. Well, yeah, it's a power color. Okay. Yeah. We know where he lies.
Looks like people like Superman as the first trailer.
Okay.
We are dead even on first team to score touchdown. Chiefs or Eagles. Dead even.
That's amazing.
Under on the songs for Kendrick Lamar at 10.5.
Makes sense.
Big time nose on the octopus. Big time unders on the 2.5 tush push touchdowns.
Look at that.
Gatorade color is yellow is the big favorite there. Yellow, green, and lime. That is a pretty popular one. The purple is the favorite at only 7%. That's surprising.
Yeah, I just who has purple on it?
I think historically the Chiefs have done some purple. I think that's why it's the favorite. I think the Chiefs have done a lot of purple. So will Travis propose to Taylor? Big time no's.
Big no. Aaron Parisian said no. A lot of people say no.
Longest field goal made over 46.5. People have a lot of faith there. I totally agree with what Mark was saying about the Eagles kicker. He's sucked as of late, so don't expect Elliott to be the guy delivering on those long field goals. Scoregami, no. I'm rooting for the people who said yes. This is one of those things I'm totally rooting for, even though
you're in on this one. I like it.
Yeah. I always throw a little money on this one because it's fun. Who wins? Dead even. Come on, folks. Damn it. We needed something here.
Wow, that's a touchdown in this or dead even. Wow.
Yeah. And then first mention in the Super Bowl MVP speech, God. Teammate and other are pretty close, but big time on God. And also we're all over the place on time. That's a tiebreaker. So
okay. I appreciate Coop. Excellent work. I almost understood what you're talking about. I appreciate that. I appreciate pulling in the non-football fans for this. Steve, yeoman's work this week, putting that together. I tasked you with not only doing that today on a Friday night, but actually making a Google sheet. I really appreciate your work, buddy.
Oh no, of course. That was so much fun. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. It was great to chat with Mark and Josh. That was awesome. So thank you so much for having me. It's awesome.
You got it, buddy. That's Steve, producer Steve, checking in as we look towards the big game. Well done, Steve, indeed. Just an MVP performance today from Steve because, I'm useless today. I don't know what, I think it's the fumes. I think that's the fumes of my reglazed tub. Me and Franny are going to be hallucinating. Thank God Grace is out of the state. I'm going to be hallucinating tonight. So if there's nothing else here, I think we're going to start to sign out for tonight because I gotta go do comedy too, and I gotta go have some dinner. And I love hanging out with you. We'll do it tomorrow night live at 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk more about news. Maybe get Brandon Hanna to call in on some science stuff as well. We want to send out love to our professor of smart things, Addie. Who had a loss, a great loss, a big loss in the family just this week. And that's why she's understandably not around to call in and make her picks as well. Addie, we absolutely love you. We love having our Professor Smart Things around, and much love to your family. And we can't wait to have you back in the fold here on the Blathering. Thank you all for hanging in, supporting, liking the video, becoming a Patreon member. Shout out to Ben in the middle of the show, became a Patreon member. Really appreciate that. And we'll do it again, my friends. We'll do it again. Eat dinner, hug people, care for people, take care of yourself, do all those things. We'll see you soon here on the Blathering.